Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Dodge Motordrome for the 25th event on the season. Technically, the 26th race. Um, I'm just going to call it race 26 for simplicity's sake. We're getting ready for 100 laps of action here in the NAMAR Mountain Dew Code Red Series, Season 3 action. 100 laps, caution free. It's important to note that, as many of you know, road courses and short tracks are caution-free events. This one will be no different. However, I just wanted to state that after tonight, the only caution-free events left is the Provo Road Course, which is in Utah, and then Iowa and Road America to start the playoffs. After that, every track will have yellow flags on. So these are the last chances you can get to capitalize in a survival type environment and not worry about someone catching back up to you under yellow and resetting the field. We actually haven't seen a yellow flag since Coca-Cola. So it's been a long time. We'll probably see one at our next track, Armory Digital. Anyway, let's get to the starting lineup for tonight. Andrew Rich wins the coin toss. He's on the inside next to Nico Tringali. Johnny Gardner, an impressive qualifying run with his after his heat effort. He gets third. Mendez will be fourth. Row 3 is Colt Hudson and Samet Oskin. Row 4, Audra Baranowskis, Matthew Logan. And in row 5 is Casey Nanako, who I can't get to, and Seth Cole. Now let's get to those point standings. Really quickly, coming into tonight's event, Dale Lightning, the points leader still. 24 points over Andrew Rich, 27 over Baranowskis, who's in third. Dylan Young, fourth, 43 back, and Matthew Logan in fifth, 49 back. Eli Bright, sixth, 51 back. Those are the drivers in range right now. Zorlin is seventh, Brommer eighth, Commons ninth, and Braxton 10th. And rest of your top 20, Nereza, Jones, Tringali, Gardner, Seth Cole, Ellison, Oskin, Sekuli, Fitzwater, and Mendez. Now, while Mendez might be 20th in the point standings, he is not in the playoffs right now. He's actually the first man out, 9 points behind Fitzwater, because RJ Bishop has fallen to 23rd in the standings. He's outside the top 20 with his win. As long as he stays in the top 30, he will get in the playoffs with that win. So that knocks Mendez out, Mendez being in 20th. So now the fight at the moment is for 19th in the points, unless Bishop gets back into 20th or higher. Well, actually, he'd have to be 19th or higher, to be fair. So coming in, Bishop's got 525 points to Johnson's 396, so he's in a good place to stay in the top 30. By the way, with Johnson's third place finish at the second Pukekohe race, he's cut the gap to Colt Hudson down to 40 points. And Hudson, though, he knows, and that's why he came out with an astonishing qualifying effort to start 5th. Everyone takes the green flag, and Rich, like in Heat 1, clears on the start. Or actually, Fitzwater was the one who did that. But Rich, this time in the main event, he clears from the bottom on the start. We saw Logan unable to do that in his heat race. But Tringali has the speed, apparently, because here he comes, looking for the top spot already. And the officials realized there was something wrong with the tire where they amped it up. So you will see a lot of tire fall off. Saving your tires might be the winning move here. As, ooh, there was smoke down there. I wonder what happened with that. Oh, and there was a wreck between Magora and Zorlin. And that has split up the field, I think, a little bit. Yeah, big gap from 33rd to 34th. And Magora retires. Brommer had a problem, it seems. Fernandez and Zorlin involved as well. So that's a tough break for all those drivers. Zorlin and Brommer, though, in a very good standing inside the top 20, so they are in no danger from this poor finish, but just very unfortunate. Mendez is trying to pass Tringali to the inside right now, and he's making it work, and he made it work. Oh my goodness, what kind of car does Edwin Mendez have tonight? And Samet Oskin is charging hard in fourth. So Ellison, Beckett, and Jagger get separated, but because of a short track nature, they are likely to catch back up to the back of the field. Let's see what the difference is from 33rd to 34th, that time at the line. And they're actually, because of the clean air, they were actually faster than Andrew Rich that last lap. But Mendez is all over the bumper of Andrew Rich. He knows. Teammate Seth Cole won back at Cape Cod. Teammate Bobo Jones just got his first win of the season in the second Pukekohe race. And now it's time for Mendez to get his victory. To the outside of Rich. He makes it look so easy, and he flies by the one. And he'll clear him off of turn 2. Mendez to the race lead. Coming in, Mendez 20th in the standings. We talked about him. He's 9 points behind Fitzwater for that last spot in on points. When you look at their seasons, Fitzwater's made every event. Mendez has missed just one. But Mendez has one extra top 5 and a better average finish than Fitzwater, even if it's only by 0.2 of an average. But Mendez to the lead, and Mendez is gone. Let's give a run through of the field as Rich sits in second. Oskin is third. Hudson's holding strong in fourth. Gardner fifth. Tringali getting challenged by Seth Cole for sixth. Braxton seventh. Braxton eighth, sorry. Baranowski's ninth, and man, look at this. Martin Wild is in 10th place. Seth Cole will take 6th place away, and Braxton will fly by himself for 7th. So it looked like Tringali had a good car, but alas, it seems he does not have the best car on the track, and even Andrew Rich doesn't seem to have the best equipment, as Oskin will go to his outside for 2nd. Man, I think we're going to see another new winner tonight. Mendez is gone right now. Mendez is on rails. But when you catch that lap traffic, it can change a lot. You see Brahmer retired too. We'll have to take a look at that accident after the race concludes. But you look at the fastest laps, and man, what a top 5. Mendez, Rich, Fernandez, Sekuli, and Hudson. That's the top 5 lap times on the board. You can see fall off has been greatly increased. So if you wear out your tires too soon, you are done for. But Mendez is still pulling away from Samet Oskin. 2.37 last time by. This time, crank it up to 2.56. So Edwin Mendez is on a tear. As long as nothing crazy happens to the 4 team, he's got this in the bag. Oskin sitting in 2nd, inching away from Andrew Rich. Hudson's in 4th. Gardner 5th. Seth Cole closing in nicely from 6th place. As Martin Wild is up to 9th. Otts is 10th. As Tringali has fallen down to 12th. How about Benny Watson in 14th? Sekuli, the other JD car without a win, he's in 15th. Peter Onjak in the top 20. Man, a lot of good drivers started at the back of the field. Dale Lightning, Dylan Young, Eli Bright, etc. And clearly it cost Brahmer and Zorlin. But right now, Mendez is just gone. Gone, gone, gone. 20 laps of 100 down here in the Dodge Motordrome. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll return for more action. We're back here at the Dodge Motordrome, coming to completion of lap 30. And Mendez putting people a lap down. His lead has gone down over Oskin, however. Oskin still in clean air. It's back down to 3 seconds, but once Oskin reaches these lap cars that Mendez is passing, it could once again extend upwards of 4, maybe 5 seconds. As Mendez passes ice, that makes that 5 cars between him and Oskin. One thing to consider though is pit stops still have to occur, and pitting within lap traffic can be tricky. Pit stops are usually around lap 60 here, so we'll see what happens. Pitting first versus later is probably the better strategy due to the tire wear. As you can see, tires have really fallen off now. To get a really good gauge, we'll go to Oskin. 1 second off pace, 34 laps in. Meanwhile, Colt Hudson has fallen down to 7th. Rich is down to 5th. Baran-Oscus has made it up to 6th place. Cavanero up to 9th. As Oskin will get to the first car in his way, and Enzo Nareza, and he looks to go to the bottom, and that's not going to help. And now Gardner will challenge for second. One thing to note is Rich is the only car inside the top 5 that is either a Junior Motorsports or RCR team, so maybe the reign from the top Chevy teams is coming to an end. It's been 2 full races now since Ryan Brommer got that win at Tula. Sorlin and Jones winning 1 race each at Pukeca, and now Mendez in the lead. Gardner, another Ford in second. Seth Cole, another JD car in third, and then Oskin, a Team Penske car, running fourth. But they are still in the top 10. You've got Baran-Oscus running here looking for 5th, and Braxton in 8th. But it seems like those upgrades have really evened out the playing field. So Oskin chooses the wrong decision-making strats to try and get by Nareza. That's a really weird wording. And he will lose second. Gardner now up to second. Seth Cole up to third. As the lead has extended back to 3.3 seconds. Mendez just working over everyone. He passes Zorlin. That'll put Zorlin 5 laps down. Zorlin involved in some kind of incident at the beginning of the race, which we will take a look at after. It took out Magora and Brommer. Zorlin had a great day at Pukeca. He got 1st in the first event and then 5th in the second event after starting 23rd. So 29 cars left on the lead lap. By the way, this race has made me think about the last race where we saw such short track domination, and that was at Memphis by the 3 car. Mendes will put Flickinger a lap down as the 35 of Fernandez, who's 2 down, maintains position in front of Mendez. Likely due to pitting for damage. She's got fresher tires, so she's getting more grip in the corner. She's actually running faster lap times. But Mendez has put a ton of cars in between him and second place Johnny Gardner. Baran-Oscus up to 5th. Rich is now down to 7th. Cavi in 8th. And Frodemar Otts back in the top 10 for the moment. Peter Onjak 11th. Martin Wild 12th. And Benny Watson in 13th. How about that? A set of cars 10th to 13th place. Logan 14th. Fitzwater is 15th. Bishop, Sekuli, Nanako, Bright, and Tringali the top 20. So Tringali not with a good race pace car. He's down to 20th after winning his heat race. Tremblay will be the next driver to go a lap down. That will leave 26 on the lead lap, and Mendez is going to approach Dylan Young, who at one time was leading the points. Marty Johnson down to 26 actually, as Young will pass him and is working on Dale Lightning. Lightning is the points leader coming into tonight. Rich was running in the top 5. Baran-Oscus is in the top 5. So if anyone is to take the points lead away from Lightning, it could be Rich or Baran-Oscus. Baran-Oscus has really come around since missing a few races earlier in the season. And the favorites are really coming out as we see more drivers inch towards 20 top 10s on the year. Coming in, the top 9 in points, all in double-digit top 10s. Lightning and Logan at 16 top 10s. At 14 apiece is Dylan Young and Sky Commons. At 13 is Baran-Oscus and Zorlin. Eli Bright with 12, Andrew Rich with 11, and Ryan Brommer with 10. And the next set of drivers looking to get their 10th top 10s on the season, the following drivers with 9 top 10s: Hunter Braxton, Enzo Nareza, Nico Tringali, and Johnny Gardner. Sitting at 8 right now is just Bobo Jones. As pit stops begin here on lap 51, we will go to the pit lane 1 camera. Actually, we'll go to the pit lane 2 camera. We'll go to Mendez. Mendez on pit road himself. Actually, we'll go to pit lane 1 as I just saw Oskin come out of pit road. And Mendez just getting installed. So Oskin, the first to pit, is going to have a clean racetrack in front of him. And this is what you don't want to see as Edwin Mendez. Baran-Oscus coming out of pit road. And there was someone smoking. Cavanero coming out of pit road smoking, and they're 3 wide. And Eli Bright wrecks. Fitzwater's in it. Mendez has to slam the brakes. Mendez smart to not get involved, but they're wrecking everywhere. And we can't get an angle on anything. Tringali smoking. Andrew Rich pulverizes the back end of Dylan Young. They're wrecking up again up ahead. That's Adam Flickinger, Fitzwater, some more. Lots of stuff going on and no good angle to see it happen. Is the calamity over? Tremblay coming down pit road with the damage. Tringali still sitting on pit road. There's Edwin Mendez. There's your race leader. And even though he had to slam the brakes, he made it through it all. But Matthew Logan will fly by and take his lap back. We're down to 16 cars on the lead lap. And after that fiasco, Baran-Oscus is in 2nd, Hudson 3rd, Gardner 4th, Seth Cole 5th. Rest of your top 10, Braxton, Peter Onjak in 7th, Autzen 8th, Sekuli 9th, and Benny Watson rounds out the top 10. Retiring from all of that, Bobo Jones, Cavanero, Andrew Rich, and that started, Tringali also out of the race, that started when Cavanero was coming out of pit road. He had made his service, and then at some point when he was coming out, his engine let go, or he had some kind of problem, and it caused a huge stack up coming out of pit road right in front of Mendez. And Mendez was smart to slam the brakes. They wrecked right in front of him. He slammed the brakes and made it through it without getting any damage. That could have been very costly for the 4. Meanwhile, though, there are a lot of cars with better tires than him right now. And it's putting him to the bottom. You don't want to be on the bottom. There's 1, 2, 3 cars back to Baran-Oscus. In 2nd, Hudson, Gardner. They're stuck on the bottom. That's a good sign for Baran-Oscus. If she is to catch Edwin Mendez, she does not want to be challenged by Hudson or Gardner. What a run for Hudson, though, coming in 30th in the points, knowing Marty Johnson cut the gap in half. Johnson is now all the way down to, where the heck is he? 14th. So Marty's doing good right now. He's 14th. Hudson's doing great in 3rd. Hudson gets a top 4. That's a lot of points. 4th to 5th, guys. It's 3 more points. 3rd to 4th, another 3 points. 3rd to 2nd, 4 points. Hudson gets to the lead somehow. That's a win. He stays top 30 in points. He makes the playoffs. But there's a lot of cars in his way, and definitely better cars behind him, like Johnny Gardner. Gardner's diving to the top. He's looking for 3rd place, but he makes a very, very bad move. And he can't get anywhere. Baran-Oscus, though, she knows, too, that these lap cars are on better tires than her. As Mendez gets passed by Ellison, it's just going to come down to how many lap cars are between Mendez and Baran-Oscus. As now Baran-Oscus is getting challenged by Zane Beckett. Hudson to the outside of Ice. And Colt Hudson can tell he's got a win in sight. But Mendez knows he's dominated this race. He does not want to give it up. So once again, we will see what happened for the first wreck of the night, and then all the pit road fiasco stuff, because in the moment we could not get a good angle on anything. We will take a look at all of that after the race is over. We're going to be getting to 34 to go. Baran-Oscus holding off Beckett for now, but how much longer can she do it? Hudson in third is just waiting to pounce. But don't go to the bottom, Hudson. You will not get it. Seth Cole's closing in from fifth. And Gardner's trying to challenge Hudson on the bottom. The lead's holding at 2.5 seconds. Actually, Mendez is pulling back away now. We're going to take our last break of the night, and we'll be back for the conclusion of the race here at the Dodge Motordrome. We're going to be coming to 25 to go. Baran-Oscus gets passed by Hudson, Gardner, and Seth Cole. She falls to fifth now as Seth Cole will move up to third, passing Johnny Gardner. Hudson is still trying to work his way around Zane Beckett. Zorlin has gotten passed by Mendez, and now Mendez is in the clear. Alexander Rowe posing no threat. And it's just going to come down to if Mendez has the better car or not. Right now he is pulling away from Hudson because Hudson cannot find a way around Beckett. Rest of your top 10, Braxton 6th, Ott 7th, Sekuli 8th, Onjak 9th, and now Sky Commons into the top 10. Benny Watson down to 11th. Marty Johnson has made his way up to 12th, and you know Marty Johnson would love to see Hudson get kicked out of the top 5 right now. He's trying to close that gap on 30th. But looking like good nights for both of them, and that will put Cole Deaver, I think, back down to 30th. Deaver only 18 points ahead of Hudson. Right now, Hudson will definitely take that spot. And then Johnson's looking good to gain a big chunk of that 52 points. He's back on Deaver. Seth Cole's trying to pass Hudson to the bottom. We're coming up on 20 to go. Beckett has just got better grip in the corner. He's finally starting to pull away from Hudson. And none of them are catching Edwin Mendez. The lead's back up to almost 3.4 seconds. As Mendez looks to be the third JD Motorsports car to grace victory lane. Can he get it done? Oh, and Nareza has lost the motor or something. He was stopped next to the track. He's been slow all night. That's a tough break for the 20 team. Hopefully we'll see what happened to him. And how about Zane Beckett? I just noticed he's 21st on the track with damage. Ellison started at the back, and he's now up to 18th. Onjak has fallen to 15th place. He was in the top 10. Marty Johnson up to 11th. Commons up to 9th. We've got battles at the back of the field. We might as well go watch them. Now Gardner's once again battling for second place with Hudson. Seth Cole down to 4th as Baran-Oscus looks to his outside. And at 16 laps to go, Johnny Gardner to the outside of Hudson. The tires have just worn so much. And Gardner will try and clear him off of turn 4. He has it at the start-finish line. And as Benjamin Ice moves to the outside of Hudson, Gardner will clear Hudson for second place. Seth Cole holds on to fourth for the time being. Baranowskis sits in fifth place. Braxton's right here in sixth. You go farther back, you see Frodemar in seventh place. Sakuli up to eighth, having a great night. Sky Commons there in ninth. Working on lap car of Dylan Young. And Marty Johnson has made it to 10th. And Marty Johnson, I think, is just on rails right now at this point. And Nareza retiring from the race. No cause for what happened to the 20. How about Marty Johnson? He knows Hudson's up there. Hudson now down to fourth. So while Hudson will pass Deaver in the points, this is good for Marty because it keeps the gap between him and Hudson closer than Hudson would like it to be. So Hudson falls to fourth place, still doing great. We're at 11 to go. Matthew Logan trying to challenge Johnson for that 10th place position. Johnson knows this is 2 points he could lose if Logan gets by him. It looks like Logan's got a really good car right now. And Logan will get to the outside of Johnson with ease. And that'll put Matthew Logan into 10th place. Mendez still holding on to his lead, 3.5 seconds over Johnny Gardner. As we go farther back in the field, Nanako in 12th, Watson 13th, Bishop 14th, Bright in 15th, Martin Wild 16th, Ellison 17th, Baker 18th, and right now Peter Onjak, last car on the lead lap, in 19th place. There's Edwin Mendez. Sameta Oskin behind him, 3 laps down. So 1, 2, 3 cars between him. Gardner's actually got door damage, so I guess he was in the fun times coming out of pit road. He's cutting down that lead. It's down to 3.26 seconds. Just don't think he's got enough time. Frodemar down to 8th. Sakuli moves up to 7th. So great night for JD aside from Bobo Jones retiring from the event. Coming to the start-finish line. This time by, it'll be 5 laps to go. Edwin Mendez looking for that first win of Season 3. Can he seal the deal? Just look at how much these tires have fallen off. 2 full seconds. And Mendez just trying to be smooth. He's got the lead back to 3.8. Gardner put to the bottom of the track by lap cars. Benjamin Ice. Zachary Fitzwater Sr. coming up here. And that puts the lead back up close to 4 seconds. Could Seth Cole have one last chance at second place? Maybe not. He goes to the bottom. But Fitzwater's still on the top. It's Alexander Rowe falling back. Gardner moves up top to pass Rowe. That blocks Fitzwater. And that might seal the deal for Gardner getting second. But back up to the front. All eyes are on Edwin Mendez. And JD Motorsports coming off of turn 4, taking the white flag. He came in 9 points out of the chase, looking to be in on that last spot points-wise, but tonight he won't have to worry about that anymore. Edwin Mendez wins at the Dodge Motordrome and all but secures a spot in the 20-driver playoff field. Edwin Mendez with the win. Johnny Gardner will come home in second. Seth Cole third. Baran Oscars fourth. Hunter Braxton fifth. Great run for Colt Hudson in sixth. Sekuli seventh. Otts eighth. Commons ninth. And Johnson gets back around Matthew Logan for 10th. That'll keep Johnson closer to Hudson as both of them, well, Hudson will definitely pass Stever in the points, but Johnson will definitely close in there. So the gap between 30th and 31st getting closer. And don't count out Frodemar Otts in the 28 car. He came in this race 32nd in points. 30 points behind Johnson. He gets his second straight top 10. And maybe things are turning around for that 28 team. Before we go tonight, let's take a look at the accidents that occurred on the track. Here we are looking at the wreck with Ryan Brommer. They're 3 wide. Brommer just comes in to turn on the flat, and when he slides up, Fernandez's nose is there, and he gets turned up right in front of Zorlin and slams the wall hard. Beckett, Magora, nowhere to go. Ellison gets a piece of this too, and Brommer's car actually flips over. And he'll slide down the track out of harm's way. But what a tough break for Brommer, just completely the cons of starting at the back with a fast race car. This car actually gets perched up on the wall there. So a tough break for Brommer. Let's look and see what happened coming out of pit road. Alright, we're going to use a special camera that we're able to use here. They hang these cameras down from the ceiling. And this allows us to see inside the drome. So Cavanero is in his pit stall. And when he tries to come out, you're going to see a car comes into the picture here. So right here comes Seth Cole. Seth Cole's trying to get in his stall right as Cavi's coming out. And then Cavi's going and he just slams into the back of Matthew Logan and it kills the radiator or something on the 18. Braxton will barely make it by. You see Cavi's trying to get going and Onjak gets a piece of this. He has nowhere to go. And so that's what started this. And then you'll see we're going to come out of pit road here. You can see we saw this happening. Cavi is just smoking and Mendez was behind all of this. This created a huge gap to Onjak. And you can just see everyone's going to come out here. We'll switch now to the helicopter view. Right as they're coming out, you see Bishop running into the back of Watson. He has no idea. Cavi's just trying to do his best here. And they come out and, man, some of these guys are really lucky they missed the wall. But right there, Bright doesn't give Fitzwater enough room, and this wrecks them both. And there's Mendez right behind his teammate Bobo Jones. Jones pounds into the 39 of Fitzwater. Dylan Young's going to have nowhere to go. He gets into the zero machine. And you see Mendez just holds it up against the wall, as does Matthew Logan. And there's cars on the track. There's where Tringali just slams the zero. Watson gets a piece of, or not Watson, Anderson gets a piece of the 39. Oskin into the 22. Ooh, Baran Oskin's actually clipped the back of the 55. And at some point here, Andrew Rich gets into someone. Oh, Dylan Young. This is where Young slides up and Rich is trying to arc the corner and he just, boom, right into the back of Dylan Young. And now something happens up ahead. Cavi's going into the pit road. And, ooh, Alexander Rowe gets turned into Gardner. And Gardner comes back up, gets into Tremblay and Fitzwater. Flickinger nowhere to go, gets into the 98. So this is where Gardner got his damage. And Gardner got all this damage, and he was still kind of tracking down Mendez, and he finished second. So, wow. That's all the crazy stuff that happened. I think If Gardner didn't get involved in that, there's a good possibility he would have been a lot closer to Mendez than he was. But that's what happened on lap 2 and lap 51. And with that, guys, I will see you at Armory Digital Super Speedway for the third Super Speedway race of the season.